So, hello everyone. I am Yuval. I am super excited to host this webinar. And I promise you that by the time this webinar ends, you will all be just as excited. So, ProMash and Crisp present to you the next big thing in whole food market demo analytics. So quickly, before we get it on, and for those who don't yet know who ProMash or Crisp is, I founded ProMash back in 2015 with my partner Chris Ambarian to help emerging CPG brands with limited resources and promotional expertise to level the playing field with larger established brands in retail. You know, with an integrated set of software and services, ProMash empowers emerging brands to take control of all aspects of their promotions in one place. And that includes, and I don't know if everybody knows about this, but that includes trade and promotional spend planning, field sales, field marketing, which is what we're talking about today, ambassador recruitment and training, and of course, deduction management. But our roots, as some of you know, are in demos. That's how we started. And we're innovating on that today. So Crisp connects and analyzes retail data, and they do so across the supply chain, providing real-time, actionable insights to brands, distributors, and retailers to keep shelves stocked, reduce waste, which was a huge goal for them, and increase profitability. And together, Crisp and PromoMash provide a fast and cost-effective solution that allows emerging brands to apply a closed-loop management to their second largest expense, trade, spending, and deductions. So, I've been waiting 15 years to present on this topic. And what I'd like to ask all of you is to keep the energy up, okay? So close your Gmail and Outlook, right? Put down that romance novel and send us some emojis, okay, on chat. Tell us where you're from, okay? This is going to be fun. So let's get started, okay? Shall we? I'm going to present the slides now. All right. All right. The next big thing in whole food demo analytics. So, who am I? Why should you listen to me? Well, some of you know, but I'm a recovering CPG founder, okay? I've been in therapy for many years, as many recovering CPG founders, and I don't suspect that I'm going to stop anytime soon. But back in 2006, right, I launched a cosmetic line in retail. And to be honest, we were huge, okay? We had national distribution with almost every natural retailer. And our growth, it was enviable. But in just a few short years, I lost it all. And when that happened, I asked myself two questions. Number one, why did I fail? And it was like more like, why me? Why me? Right? And number two, why is CPG so hard for emerging brands? And then I spoke with other brand founders and realized that I was not alone. So one day, right, I had an epiphany. God spoke to me with angels singing and light shining through the clouds. Well, not really, but I did have an idea. And that idea was PromoMash. And after 8 years of servicing hundreds of the best brands in CPG and millions of demos and merchandising visits, here we are. So why are you here? Well, as I just said, the same reason I was. When I was managing a national demo program with slick tools, and I mean slick, and they were Excel, email, snail mail, faxes, smoke signals, and my favorite, the carrier pigeons. Took a few from Mike Tyson. I was wondering about some of the same questions you guys are asking today, right? Are my demos effective? What were the results of my demos and merchandising visits? Was my spend worth it? So if any of those are true to you, or you truly believe in the magic of demos and want to keep growing your program, or perhaps you're a skeptic and want to see what the hype is all about, or perhaps your boss sent you a link and told you to attend some crazy webinar, you, my friend, are probably in the right place too. So what will we share today? Well, what we're going to share today is as exciting as a butterscotch cream cheese frosted cupcake is to a 3-year-old or a 50-year-old, for that matter, since I love cupcakes. We will share the what, the next innovation out of our very successful and genius partnership with Crisp. And that's why we call it CP Genius. Crisp plus Promo Mash equals genius. And with this partnership, we will help you boost demo data accuracy like never before. We're going to help you unleash your sales performance like never before. And understand when, where, and with who to demo. And you guessed it. Anyone want to put it in chat? Like never before. Okay. So, why Crisp and Promo Mash? Well, for many years, we could plan demos, right? The old-fashioned way. We had calendars, post-event recaps, and obviously the Excel to analyze those recaps. And since we launched in 2015, some platforms came after us and a couple before us that help brands and agencies manage demos and merchandising visits better. But never until today, unless you have a very expensive analyst or two on your team at your beck and call, could you accomplish what I'm about to show you next. So today, we're announcing that it is possible to feed daily POS register data and overlay that data on top of your ambassador or merchandising reports to visualize your demos and events as you've only dreamed of. And guess what? No one else can do that, which is exciting to us as we love innovating in this space. And although we're starting with Whole Foods Market, we will connect to any retailer that provides daily POS register data from Crisp, such as Target, Kroger, Walmart, and others. And that, my friends, is very, very exciting. So you can see this slide. This is Crisp data flowing into the Promo Mash platform. All right. From my experience and from what I've been hearing, in the market, 2023 will be a challenging year. You see it on LinkedIn. We're not sure what's going to happen, right? There's inflation, supply chain issues, prices going up. Maximizing every dollar you spend on awareness is more important than ever now. And why? So you can sell more and stay on the shelf. And that's the most important part, is staying on the shelf. And because market conditions are more competitive than ever, you must have a greater awareness of how effective your spending is. And since demos and merchandising visits are one of the largest expenses you have, because let's face it, you're paying a brand ambassador to go out and spend their time promoting your product, right? This is critical. So if you know how your promotions are performing, you can make better decisions, right? And allocate your spending wisely to be in a much better position to succeed and outcompete. So before I show you the actual platform and reports, I do want to convey that in our experience, right, demos can be so effective that they can take the brand to new heights. And you know what? The proof is in the pudding. Or as they say, some of the brands that we work with, as they were scaling up, were extremely, extremely profitable. So let me show you some examples of brands that we worked with. Kavita, okay? They were just getting their demo program started. By the time we were done with them, Pepsi purchased them. Cool House, great little brand. Urgent purchased them. Manitoba Harvest, Mike Fata, shout out to him. Tilray purchased them. And guys, for 9 figures. Okay? Beanfields, Boosh. Orgain, Nestle. Okay? So you can imagine that this stuff works, and they all had very successful demo programs with us. We've seen the data. We know how effective they were. So, what does winning in retail today mean for brands? Meaningful data is critical for visibility, right? Timeliness. You don't want to have a 30-day lag to figure out what the hell's going on. Context. It matters. And you need to understand the business aspect, the business impact of your promotion, because that's life and death. Okay? So, you heard enough of me speak about everything. Without further ado, I know you guys have been patiently waiting to see what we have mustered up here at ProMesh. And what has ProMesh been up to these days? So, while I pull up my screen share, get some more emojis on the chat, I'm sure my business partner is saying to himself, Yuval, I'm not putting no damn hearts up until you show me some data, okay? Guaranteed that's what he's saying. And Chris is going to tell you while I pull up my screen share. Give me a second. All right. Can everybody see my screen? Yes? All right, fantastic. All right, love the participation. All right, hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to take my camera off to give you a better experience. All right. So let's go here. All right. So let's begin with, everybody sees the screen, right? I see it? Okay, good. So let's begin with what a demo program looks like on a platform. Okay. What are the inputs that we're going to be collecting and analyzing? Okay. Well, this is the ProMesh platform. And what we're doing here is we're looking at schedules. So of course you have to schedule your events. Okay. You might want to look at it and see it on a calendar view to understand when those events are happening. Maybe you want to look at it on a map view to analyze where you're performing and where you're not, and maybe digging a little bit deeper into the events and places that you're demoing, right? And guess what? If you are on the ProMesh platform and you're also a TPM client, then your marketing folks don't actually have to worry to understand where your other promotions are living, such as TPRs, advertising, coupons, etc., because we will link your sales calendar, your promotional calendar, to your field marketing calendar. So now you can support your field marketing manager or brand manager can support your retailers based upon where you have promos, and they'll know what the TPR is, what products are a promo, etc. So that's a little bonus if you're also working with us on the TPM side. And then when you're looking at the events, what happens, right? Then you want to look at potentially the details. Somebody checking in. Again, this is just you managing your events. Understanding by product. What's the price on the shelf? How many did the brand ambassador sample? How many did they sell? You also have a post-event recap, right? What is your shopper thinking? Do they like your product? Obviously, you have photos, expenses, all of that good stuff. Okay. And until now, that was pretty much it. I mean, you had some reporting. You had photos where you can look at your shelf and kind of understand what's going on with pricing or inventory issues. Okay. Potentially, there are other reporting that we can review. But that's it. That was pretty much it. You know, I remember, come to think of it, I remember one day I was sitting with my partner back, this was in 2008. And that was in the throes of our national demo program, right? Now, mind you, this is where my partner was yelling at me that we were spending too much money on our program, okay? And she felt that it was unprofitable. But I was really adamant about the effectiveness of our program. So my partner asked me, okay, Smarty Pants, do you know the incremental sales lift when we demo? Do we make more money when we demo versus not demoing? And do you know what I said? Exactly. Nothing. Crickets. But now I have an overall picture of my, Chris is so funny, Yuval has a new toy. Now I have an overall picture of my metrics and KPIs. I know how many events, I know how many products are a demo, I know samples per hour, how many units were sold, how many were sampled, and what was actually sold. And guys, this is real registered data. You do not have to log into the Whole Foods portal, which everybody hates. Okay. Now we can see a timeline of our demos and visualize how well we sold compared to a local baseline. What is a local baseline? Well, it's a baseline that our platform generates from the daily register data that we get from Crisp, okay? But listen, remember this. If you're also promoting with the TPR, ads, coupons, and displays, this will also affect your incremental lift. So if you're subscribed to TPM with us, you can analyze all of your tactics, not just field marketing, but just understand that some of this lift could be due to a supporting promotion as well, because we're looking at sales, okay? And the kicker here, though, this is real client data, okay? From a client that shall not be named, with products and names changed to protect the not so innocent, as you will see in the next few slides, okay? So let me touch on a few points, okay? We have filters here. This, my friends, is a game changer, because check out what you can do with any of the data graphs and charts that you see here. You can look at it by retailer. So it starts with Whole Foods and there'll be others. You can look at all the data by the division you're selling in, which is the region. You can look at it by different states. You can look at it by the store. You can look at it by the ambassador and time periods, different quarters, different months. You can even split it out to the day or week or month or year. You can even look at it by different days, which this will come handy in a second. And then obviously by the event name and by the different products, okay? This level of granularity was not available easily anywhere. And I would like to see a spreadsheet that can get you that easily, right? If anybody has a spreadsheet that can give you these types of filters and dynamics that you can go up or down, put it in chat. I'd like to congratulate you, okay? So what are we looking at here? we are looking at daily sales when there's a demo. So let's say I want to go a little deeper because this is 2 years worth of data, right? If I click on January, check this out. I'm seeing the estimated the estimated sales, base sales in the purple and the incremental units sold in orange. Now, if it is negative, which means it goes down, that means I sold less than base. Okay. And if I was wondering, well, what the hell's going on this day, I can hover over it, and I will see the actual demos that were done that day to create this type of lift. And check this out. Again, this is real data, folks. Estimated without demo and incremental is 10 plus X of what they would normally make. Okay. So let's look at event summary. Actually, you know what? Let me tell you another story. I'm sitting around my team, okay? We're reviewing our demo program, and I ask a question. My question is, I wonder, I'm getting such great sales results reported on our post-event recaps. Boy, these BAs really know how to sell. I wonder how accurate these numbers are. Did they really sell so well at the demo? You can guess I didn't have the answer to this. Has anyone asked that question before? Put in the chat. Have you ever asked, is my brand ambassador reporting the right sales on the post-event recaps? Love to know if there are any. Or am I the only one? Okay, I didn't think I was the only one. All right. But now I can see this in real time. We can see the exact performance of all our reps and not only analyze the self-reported sales results, now we can compare to actual register sales to finally answer that question that I had so many years ago. Let's do this. Let's sort by actual sales versus BA report. And check this out. I'm going to let this sink in for a second. If you sort by actuals versus BA report column, and oh boy, my spidey sense was right? Gene Slick, no pun intended, by the way, reported 133% more sales on his recap than he actually sold. Okay? But maybe we should hold off from liberating these BAs into the workforce, as Darren Hardy would say, right? Because their incremental for that day is incredible. This is the results for the days that you demo versus not demoing. This is the incremental sales. And again, to make it more efficient, you can select which variable you want to summarize, right? Just select the dimensions of the dropdown and you're good to go. And check out the dropdown dimensions. You can look at it by brand ambassador. You can look at it by retailer. You can look at it by product name. And what about division, city, store, or event? What is the actual lifts by event? All right, guys, this blew me away when I first saw these reports. Okay. All right. Check this out. I want to ask everyone here who manages demos, okay? And please put this answer in the chat. Did you ever wonder if your demos or merchandising visits actually affected your base sales velocity over time? Meaning, did you ever wonder if you performed better over time in stores that you were supporting versus those that you were not? Right? Is that a big question for you? Right? If I have 5 stores, I support 3, I don't support 2, what happens? Yeah, I see a lot of thumbs thumbs up here. Well, I did, but now you don't have to wonder anymore. Again, this is real-time data. Here you go. Now we can show the actual sales velocity over time and compare. And this is a stacked chart. What this tells me right here, and this is real-time data for a real customer of ours, that there was never a time where a store that was not supported did better than a store that was supported. Okay? And if you go to the filters, now I can look at different regions. I can look at different states, different products, and I will know exactly what's happening at store level with a indicator of if my velocity is going up, staying the same, or going down. Because guys, if you're demoing over time and your trend chart is going down, you're not doing a good job. Because the whole point of demoing is to increase velocity over time. And for this brand, who shall be nameless, they are doing a kick-ass job. Okay. Are you guys getting this? If you think this is as cool as I think so, I want to see some hearts, okay? So now that we have some basics, some of the basics out of the way, let's look at our ambassadors, right? And reps a little more closely and answer the age-old question, right? Who are my best reps and why, right? And who do I need to manage a bit more closely? Man, that was a big, big problem for me. And now we can manage ambassadors in real time, understanding everything about their events. How many they've done, how many days of demo, what they reported, what were the actual sales, what was the incremental, and we can start looking at your top or bottom BAs and understanding what it looks like with how many stores they're demoing or how many events they have in their back pocket, how many hours are on demo, what's their incremental sales per event. And when you click on it, you see the data just specifically for that brand ambassador, okay? If you want to look at it a little bit more clear, you can go in and you can now see a full picture of it, and you can start looking and digging a little bit deeper into your analysis, okay? And of course, you can sort and sample and do whatever you want, okay? You can do the same thing in products, okay? Game changer, guys. Top 10 products, bottom 10, bottom 5, whatever you want, okay? Real analysis. And same thing by location. And check this out. This is really cool. Click the bottom of the page just to kind of set the parameters, and click on this little expander, because you can expand it one at a time, but who the hell wants to do that, right? No one. So click on the bottom and then you can expand the entire list. Okay? And that gives you by state, by territory, by store, okay? Exactly what's going on. All the data you need. And check this out. Your top BAs are going to show up. So when you click on the BA and you're wondering which store, which retailers or places does Denise demo at or merchandise at, there you go, my friends. Okay? We're just getting started, people. I hope you're ready. Okay? For me, one of the most pressing questions was when should I demo? Right? Because you hear everybody, demo on weekends at 9 a.m. and then at 5 p.m. And, how does everybody know? Okay? Every demo you put forth is a waste of freaking money if you're not doing it effectively. You're just throwing money out. And now, not only can we analyze by the ambassador and by the location and by the product and by the reporting and the sales. Now you can actually analyze by day and time. And you will know based on real-time sales data that is reported, right, for the hour. So this is based on BA report, but for the day, you will know with actual registered data which day and which time is best. Okay? All right. Listen, I think this is great stuff. Might just be me, but my baby's not ugly today because I'm just loving what I'm seeing, because I could have used this for my brand. And I don't think I would have failed so miserably if I had this data. Okay? But here's the kicker. We're not done yet. Not even close. What I'm going to show you has, in my opinion, okay, never been seen in field marketing analysis before. Okay? My friends, what we have done blew my mind when I saw it first. So not only have we been able to create the best event management platform, and then took it up a notch with innovation by connecting to crisp, real POS data sources to analyze it. But why stop there? We have overlaid US government demographic information over your sales data to tell you even more about how you're doing. Yes, guys, the US Census data that allows you to see household income, age groups, demographics, how much they're spending on food and groceries, all of it now is overlaid on top of your demos. What do you guys think? Just that alone. I didn't even show you the graphs yet. It's pretty revolutionary, huh? So that's a good question about Canada. I'm sure that we can grab something from Canada. Chris can answer that. So based on, a selected indicator, so we have two indicators here. We have census and market, right? We can see success related to performance, right? The bubble sizes show what's available, right? And the size of the indicator. And the color shows how you're doing, right? Green, you're doing well. Orange, you're doing average base. Red, you're not doing so well. Okay? And so let's take a look. The bubble size is this selector. The color of the bubble is this selector. So based on population, we can see the different markets of Whole Foods where you have large populations and smaller populations. Okay? We can also look at number of stores. We can also look at household income. And we can also look at food consumption. Okay? Let's take a look at population. Now what we want to know is we want to know the market penetration. Or maybe we want to know how many units were sold. Now you see what happened. In California, in this market right here, it was orange, it was base. If you hover over, you can see all the events that we're doing here, what the average lift was, what the incremental sales were, etc. But it's orange, which means we're not penetrating the market as well as we are elsewhere, because this is all based on averages. So this little green mark in Philadelphia means that sales-wise, we're penetrating that market, but it's a small market. But if I look at total units sold, well, now that changes it. That means that in Southern California, I'm actually selling really well. And in the Philadelphia area, even though I penetrated the market, I'm not selling so well. Okay? And the cool part is, I'm not going to go too much into it because there's a lot here. I can look at it by city, and I can even look at it by damn store. Okay? I can go in, and if I want to look at in Manhattan during, in this market, I can see exactly how well I'm doing, how I'm penetrating, what the population looks like, what the household income looks like, etc. What do you guys think so far on that? Thank you, Chris. All right. Over the years, many clients ask me, Yuval, where should I demo? Right? What are my opportunities in the field? And until today, it was a very difficult answer to come by. But no more. Here, by taking the census data, I can take a look where the Whole Foods markets are and understand my existing markets and potential markets. So I can go in and say, I want to look at an age group between 20 to 34, which is my group. Okay. Maybe I want to look at ethnicity of African Americans or Native Hawaiian. I mean, whatever it is, there's a bunch here, right? If I want to look at, I can click, let's say Asians, I can click that. And maybe I want to look at a different household income, right? Maybe I'm selling a very expensive product and I want to look at household income over 100,000. Okay. What this is going to do, it's going to tell me where my opportunities are. Now, in this case, all the greens are where opportunities lie. Now, again, it's relative. So if I exclude, it's going to change. So if I exclude the current opportunities that I'm in, it's going to show me the next big places to go. And in this case, I would be looking at Texas. Okay. This has never been able to be had in CPG before. Okay. And one more. That wasn't enough. Probably one of my favorites. Here is your Whole Food Market sales data by days, by weeks, by months. And you do not need to log into your Whole Foods Market portal again. By units and by dollars. By region and by store. Okay? With the ability to look at a trend chart. With the ability to filter, this is the coolest thing, and say, I only want to look at Tuesdays. These are Tuesday sales in the past 2 years to show you how well you've done. Okay? So that's it. These are the graphs and charts. So give me a second to get back to my screen here. Stop sharing screen, go back to the presentation. I haven't read any of the chat messages, so I'm hoping that Chris is answering them, but we will have a little bit of time for Q&A and I'll be happy to answer. So here's what we just saw, okay, guys? Estimated sales lift, BA performance, ranking regions and stores, velocity growth, new opportunities. Things that were absolutely not possible in the past. So before, everybody kind of leaves to do their work, I want to tell you that we have an exclusive limited time offer for anybody on this webinar. Okay? You're going to get a button that gets added in. It's a feature action button where you can book a call with me, and I'm not going to tell you the price. And the reason I'm not going to tell you the price for this is because I'm not allowed to tell you the price. It is a non-published price. It is so incredibly affordable for what you're getting that it's going to blow anything you can even imagine out of the water. But in order to understand what you're getting and how much it's going to cost, you must book a meeting with me. But I will say I'll even entice you further. Okay? Any booked meeting, we will send you our coveted CP Genius t-shirt that we launched at Expo. Okay? Book a meeting, you'll get a t-shirt. All right. So that was that. Let's look at chat and Angela. And we will send a PDF of the webinar slides afterwards. So just know that. What I'll do is should I add Angela or Chris on for questions? Let me get Angela on here because she's got the questions on. Just see here. I'll invite Angela on stage. I'll invite Chris on stage just so we can get, and here's my video as well.
Hello.
All right, Angela is our VP of Marketing. So can we, do you have the questions? Have you been looking at the questions that we can answer them?
Yes, I have. Chris, I know Chris has been answering some of them, but still I'd want to just make sure that we cover off on all of them, and maybe some points should be just talked through rather than just quickly answered. So I'm going to ask them in the order that we've got them.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is Chad is asking, so if we have the WFM Crisp connector established with our existing Promo Mash plus Crisp subscription, is this level of information included?
Hold on a second. What am I doing here? I apologize. Sorry, you were cutting off. Say one more time.
So I think the answer is yes, but he's asking if they have the Whole Foods Crisp connector established with existing Promo Mash and Crisp subscription, this level of information is included?
There is a data package subscription that needs to be added on to your current subscription to get this data.
Okay, so I think he's asking Promo Mash plus Crisp.
Correct. So that all of that can be discussed when we, again, it's a little sensitive in terms of pricing. So all of that can be discussed on our call. Book a call with me, and happy to discuss pricing.
Okay. Next question, Patrick is asking, can you give examples of other retailers that offer access to daily sales data that can be utilized with?
So any data, if you go to gocrisp.com, any retailer that provides daily sales data with them will be available in the future. Right now, we're starting with Whole Foods.
Okay. Amy's asking, what do you say to the brands who say they can check the Whole Foods data on a weekly basis instead? Many brands may not understand why they need immediate sales versus waiting to view every Monday from the Whole Foods portal.
Great question, because weekly data is not enough to understand, performance at a demo. But even if you are getting daily sales data from Whole Foods, you're still going to have to do this internally, which means you have to go into the Whole Foods portal and pull that data. And nobody likes the Whole Foods portal. It's very difficult, very time consuming. And then you'll have to take in your data management and probably have an analyst on your team manage the whole analytics side of things. With Promo Mash and Crisp, you don't need an analyst. You don't need to get into the platform. It automatically shows up whenever you're looking at your data.
Okay, there was also a little bit of chat around the Whole Foods Interactions platform to schedule demos, and its connectivity with Promo Mash. So I think Chris on the chat answered no, there isn't an integration. But could you just talk through a little bit about why and how important it is to have the demos, and what the whole point of having the demos in Promo Mash?
Yeah. So Daemon Interaction, they won't connect with us, so that's not even possible. It's on their end. But what we can do is we can take your schedule, we can upload it into our platform, and then even if Daemon is doing demos for you or any agency manages demos for you, we can still add them in with their full reporting and analyze those demos as well. So if you were ever curious, how are my Daemon Interaction demos doing comparatively to my brand ambassadors, or how is my agency doing comparatively to Daemon? You'll be able to see that in real time.
So just to be clear, you can upload them. They won't automatically.
We can upload all the events and all the reports,
okay.
Yes.
Great. So Zachary's also asking, are captured sales only for hours demoed or full day?
It's for the full day. The Whole Foods does not report by hour.
Okay. Michelle's asking, what are your tips for incorporating? Okay, I think you just answered this, but what are your tips for incorporating Whole Foods Interactions platform with PromoMash?
It's just a download. So you download from Interactions, you upload into ProMesh.
Okay. Mason's asking, do you only get store level data for the hours that you have a BA in store, or does it give you data for, okay, I think you answered this one again too. Just
Yep.
marking them all, making sure that we get them. And finally, there's a question from Amy. Will the data differentiate between actual sales versus using free product vouchers?
No, but your brand ambassador should be able to report how many vouchers they gave, and you can reduce the actual sales by that number.
Right.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Amy? We can probably add it into, we can probably add the coupon, like free coupons and vouchers into the reports a little bit later. Again, these are the basic reporting tools. So we're going to be implementing way more than what you're seeing now. We're just getting started, and we're going to get it based on feedback from our clients.
Okay, good. We got a couple more questions that came in as you were answering those. Who books events for an ambassador? I'm not getting any events since mid 2021. My manager told me the budget of certain retailers is limited.
So your brand manager would probably book the ambassador, the events. So I would be speaking with them if you have any questions.
Okay. And we had another one around Damon brand ambassadors. If you're using Damon brand ambassadors, is it possible to use PromoMash?
Absolutely. It's recommended because you can take all of that data that Whole Foods sends you on when you're doing a demo and analyze their performance. This is something that's never been had, and they're expensive. So if you're using Damon, you might want to check into potentially working with an agency in comparison and seeing if the agency fares better than the Damon demos. Guys, make sure to book a call with me because you definitely want to try this on. If you're demoing at Whole Foods, this is absolutely a no-brainer for you. You will be able to save so much money on mistakes. You'll be able to understand exactly what you're doing to do better demos over time, which means that you're going to plan better and analyze, rinse and repeat, and you're going to have a great program over time rather than guessing, right? You do not want to miss the ability to do this. And right now it's a limited time to get in at special pricing, because you can imagine, since no one else is offering this and it's such a high value, prices are going to go up. So make sure to come in early enough to take advantage of this pricing. The early bird special, as they say.
I just want to say something as the data geek guy. Somebody asked a question earlier about, why should I do this daily data feed thing? I can just go look at it every Monday or something. And there's a very, very, very good reason from a data standpoint. We include exactly, a demo happens for hours on one day. If you're looking at your data any wider than that, then you can't really tell exactly what happened on that one day. We can tell with really, really good accuracy, hey, what is the trend of sales on a daily basis, and how different was demo day than that? And that's something that you absolutely can't do by looking at it any other way. So kind of to Yuval's point, you're going to be guessing 10 times less. It's 10 times more accurate than or 10 times more level of confidence than you ever had before as a data guy.
There was another question here.
I think there was a question that I missed about how are we tracking samples per hour? So
that's a good one. Yeah. So the way we're tracking samples per hour is obviously BA reported. So they're going to report how many samples they tracked. What I would recommend is giving them a clicker potentially, so they can kind of track as closely as possible and they don't forget. But then we divide it by the number of hours and we get you the sample per hour, and then we analyze that over the sales results. Because ultimately, if you're handing out more samples, hopefully you're selling more. Because if you're handing out a lot of samples and you're selling less or not selling more than you would normally sell, that would be a problem, I think. So,
Guys, name Bill Slick or something like that in the data set. You know, before we had the ability to track what the BAs were reporting as far as samples and how many they sold, we had nothing. We had no idea. So the BA reported
your
stories are. So now we're getting it to the point where, hey, more and more of the data is like super solid. And I'm surprised that the BAs are within 25% of what they said it was going to be. So, you know, plus or minus. So yeah, they might have an incentive to over-report, but they got just as much ability to under-report. You want to know what the real number is.
How does CRISP get Whole Foods Market POS data? So it is for all products and brands and all days that you log in for. So you basically, they connect with your login information and they export that information from the Whole Foods Market portal so you don't have to. And then what they do is they normalize the data to your SKU and to the actual store and then feed that data automatically to us so that we can match it to your demos and or trade promotions as well. Nice to see you, Michelle. Anyone else? Anyone else? We got a couple of more minutes. Any other questions? And thank you for those who stayed around and you're curious.
Yeah, this is that tells you how
Yes.
how interesting it is.
How can we best promote this on LinkedIn? Just go ahead and mention PromoMash, mention hashtag CPGenius, mention CRISP.
Angela, can we provide them a little something to share out?
Absolutely. So look
Yeah.
for an email from me
Yeah.
with all the information. You'll get links to the presentation. I know a lot of people were asking about that. I think I answered it a few times. But no worries. We're going to get you all the information, hashtags, links, everything you want to share.
You can also email me. I'll put my email address right here. You can also email me at any time. And yes, Bermet, we're going to be able to include reimbursement, all expenses, everything. And like I said, we are going to add more and more capabilities to these dashboards as we get feedback from our clients. And I will tell you that there will not be anywhere to go to find data on your demos. Everything else is going to be gut feel. You want to know what you're doing? PromoMash is the only way. Yes, and implemented input data on mileage, yes. Right now, we're able to implement the data on mileage, and I think you're talking about expenses, but yeah, we'll be able to handle that. And if it's something that we can't, and you give us some insights, and if it makes sense, then we will look to implement it as well. Thank you, Terry. All right, everyone. If there are no further questions, you get 3 more minutes to your day. It was such a pleasure. It was so much fun to present to you. I am really passionate about this, as you can tell, but I'm telling you, this is a game changer for any CPG brand that's doing demos. And as soon as we start with Target and Walmart and other retailers, it's going to change the game for your business. Thank you so much, and see you soon.